सतगुरु सोना मेरा किरपाल निसेयो दीनदयाल निसेयो सतगुरु सोना मेरा किरपाल निसेयो दीनदयाल निसेयो काई जन्मा तो विचरीसी में लब्धी प्रीतम प्यारा सतगुरु पूरा मिल जाए मैनू हो जाए पारे उतारा काई जन्मा तो विचरीसी में लब्धी प्रीतम प्यारा सतगुरु पूरा मिल जाए मैनू हो जाए पार उतारा नी मिल गया माही मेरा निशान शाही मेरा नी मिल गया माही मेरा निशान शाही मेरा करे संभाल निसेयो दीनदयाल निसेयो सतगुरु सोना मेरा किरपाल निसेयो दीनदयाल निसेयो सेयो नी में दार दार फिर के दादी पागल होई दिल दा जानी कोई न मिलिया ना सुनी यार जोई सेयो नी में दार दार फिर के दादी पागल होई दिल दा जानी कोई न मिलिया ना सुनी यार जोई मिल गया प्यारा मेरा दिल सहारा मेरा मिल गया प्यारा मेरा दिल सहारा मेरा शब्द बंदार निसेयो दीनदयाल निसेयो सतगुरु सोना मेरा किरपाल निसेयो दीनदयाल निसेयो सतगुरु सोना मेरा किरपाल निसेयो दीनदयाल निसेयो जलदारे और दून तप के ताता तीरथ नाया शिव दुवलेते मंदिर पूजे किसे न दुख वंदाया जलदारे और दून तप के ताता तीरथ नाया शिव दुवलेते मंदिर पूजे किसे न दुख वंदाया नी मेरा माही आया नी मैनू रस्ते पाया नी मेरा माही आया नी मैनू रस्ते पाया दावे दीदार निसेयो दीनदयाल निसेयो Satguru sona mera ek Kirpalani Sirio, Deenan Dayalani Sirio. Satguru sona mera ek Kirpalani Sirio, Deenan Dayalani Sirio. Sona darshan dikavo sabnu, suno Kirpal pyare. E babari ajay bodhi jindari, lavo pare kinare. Sona darshan dikavo sabnu, suno Kirpal pyare. E babari ajay bodhi jindari, lavo pare kinare. Ni sacha sant aya ni mera kant aya ni sacha sant aya ni mera kant aya kare fiar ni seyo Deenan Dayalani Sirio. Satguru sona mera ek Kirpalani Sirio, Deenan Dayalani Sirio. Satguru sona mera ek Kirpalani Sirio, Deenan Dayalani Sirio. So this is the song I want to comment upon this evening. This is one of the very famous songs, Sanji. The first time I heard it, it was in a program in Bombay, 1991, I think. No, 1984. I attended few programs in Bombay with Sanjay. They were very beautiful programs. And satsangs were in Punjabi. We didn't understand anything. And most of the Indians present also didn't understand anything because they spoke Marathi and Sanjay spoke Punjabi. So those who understood Sanjay on those programs were just those who came from Delhi or from Punjab or from Rajasthan. But we didn't care because what counts in satsang is the presence of the Master. And when he speaks, whether we understand or we don't, if you just listen to the sound of the voice and we look into his face, then it's meditation. And we get the blessing and the upliftment. And those satsangs were attended by maybe 1,000 people, and they were so beautiful, with so much love, so much wonderful energy. So many, they came from the West, from Europe, from America. So in one of these satsang, I heard for the first time this song, and I was very fascinated. I liked it right away. There was the time in which two songs came up which were very beautiful. This Satguru Sona Mera and Aja 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 Mere Kirpal Ji. So they came up more or less at the same time, and in that program they were both of them, they were sang a lot because they were the new ones, and everybody wanted to learn and sing the new ones. So Sanjay in this song tells us, "Oh friends, my beautiful Sadguru is Kirpal. He is gracious or merciful to the poor ones." So he wants to make it clear who is Sadguru is. And this is a very important point, to decide who is our Sadguru. So once we fall in love with Sadguru and we choose this Sadguru to be my Sadguru, then that's for a lifetime. So he wants to point out that once you choose your Sadguru, you stick to your Sadguru. Once you fall in love with somebody, then you have to keep that relation and leave it, whatever it brings about. So deciding what we want to do in life, our main choices, is very important. And once we decide, because something peculiar, something special happens that makes us decide, because nobody imposes anything on us, we decide. People say, you go to this master, they brainwash you, they convince you through doctrines and philosophies that you have to follow this path and this master, they brainwash you. But most of the time it's not like this. I mean, there are these cases also. But most of the time, when it's a healthy relation, when it's a choice which we make because we become convinced that that's our path, that's our master, then that is just our choice. We decide. That's for me. Just like when we fall in love romantically with somebody. Nobody imposes it on us. It just happens. So also on the spiritual path and the spiritual love is something that we choose because we understand that up to now never anything like this happened to me. Maybe something nice here and there, but this is very profound. This fits with me very well, and that's what I choose for my life. So choosing, deciding, and then sticking to it. In all the relations there are problems of one kind or another, and we have to face them. We have to grow through those experiences, through those difficulties. Because difficulties, they never come up only because of faults of one side. It's always a mixture with a certain percentage from one side and a certain percentage from the other side. Now I'm talking about human relations. But when we are on the spiritual path and we choose the master, then this kind of relation must be different. There is any problem, it's only our problem. It's no percentage from one side or from the other. 50 me, 50 you, 30 me, 70 you, or 70 me, 30 you. No, in this we have to have a different attitude. If there is any problem, it's only our problem. So he needs to really become humble. Sanji often says, if you want to treat the path of love, then come and bring your head as an offering. That's what it means. In this relation, you give up your ego, you give up your arrogance. And don't teach here, you just learn. Sanji often used to say, when you go to a master, doesn't matter the age you are, you just go as if you were a kid who knows nothing. And listen and learn as if you really knew nothing. But people come and compare. I know this, he says this, and my experience is this, but he says something different, this and that. So the mind and the ego are at play. And it's not important if what the master says really fits with what we already know. As I said before, when we listened to these Sanji's programs in Bombay, we didn't understand a word of what he was saying, but it wasn't important. It's the presence which is important. So it's not important if what the master says fits with what we already know. We don't have to come into play. We just have to be empty and let the light of God fill our empty space. It doesn't have to be at an intellectual level, because we get nowhere with the intellect. This conviction, the other conviction, this saying, the other saying, this doctrine, the other doctrine, it doesn't really matter. Master Kirpal used to say, spirituality begins where all the philosophies of this world end. So spirituality has nothing to do with intellect and points of view and this and that. Spirituality is making the mind quiet, peaceful, silent, and raising above body consciousness. Once you raise above body consciousness, then that's the point. That's what we want. That's spirituality. So when we do something, the attitude by which we do it is so very important. It makes that something successful or unsuccessful. But I see it's very rare for people to come into this kind of relation with such a humble attitude. We all want to show out. We know we are capable of this, we are capable of that. It's okay, we all have our skills. We all have been going through experiences in life, so we know things. But these are not related to this topic. They have nothing to do with what we want to do here. The skills we have, the potentials we have, the talents we have to put them at the service of the Master to help him do the work he is doing. They are not to show out that I am so good at this, I am so good at that. I am so good at serving. I know this, and I put it at your service. That's the right attitude. So anything we are capable of, anything we are good at, we use it to serve the cause of the Master, to help in the work, big or small, that we are doing. Then, what we know, it's useful. Our skill is useful, is put in the right place, for the right cause. And this helps our growth, because seva is a very important part of the spiritual practice. Service with no interest. We always do something to get something. But in this case, we have to do something to get nothing. Just as a free service. In the yoga, there is a path called karma yoga, which is the yoga of action. Action as a service. And they say, through this also you may achieve God's realization. You know, the three main paths of yoga are karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga. So the yoga through action, service to humanity. Then the yoga that happens because of love and devotion. That is bhakti yoga. And that yoga or union which happens because of coming to know, because of knowledge. But I would say nobody becomes self-realized only as a knowing person. Nobody becomes realized as a devoted person only, or as a serving person. Complete man is the one who is capable of serving, is the one who is capable of being devoted to the divinity, the Ishtadeva that he chooses to adore, and comes to know also, develops this intuitive part, the highest part of this our brain, this our mind. So that's Santmat. Santmat, we are meant to be knowing, devoted, and sevadars. So the Masters give this good example of serving with no interest. They show it through their life. What they do it because they like that people may experience what they have experienced. To give a chance to as many people as possible to experience this coming in touch with the divinity within ourselves. There is no other interest. It's not because of name and fame. They don't really need it. They just like to let people come to know their full potential. Master Kirpal used to say, we are like mutilated beings. We develop in one direction, but on the other direction we are nowhere. We have this competence, but we don't have all the others. We are physically concentrated, but we don't consider what is the spiritual side, the intellectual side. So a complete man is the one who develops all around. We have to be capable of using this body because we have it, and we should be able to work with it to use it for the service of this world. Let's say it like this. We have an intellect, and we have to try to acquire knowledge, very good knowledge, which is a helping factor for ourselves and for others. We have a heart that wants to be devoted to something and to love something. So all these sides of ours have to be developed. Then we become harmoniously growing. We grow harmoniously. Why sometimes we seem to grow spiritually, we have very good experiences, and then all of a sudden they stop and something comes up that seems to make everything dark, everything heavy, problematic again. Why don't we stay always in bliss? Because there are sides of ourselves that need to grow. So we have to go back, pick them up, and bring them to that level that side of ourselves has reached. That's how we grow. We have so many sides, but many times, most of the time, they are in conflict in us. Something is very advanced and something is very backwards. So we have to pick up all these sides and bring them to a point where we become integrated beings. All of our sides are fully integrated. The same is with humanity. We want this humanity to make a jump. Some people talk about this leap that humanity is going to experience very soon. This has been said always. There have always been people who have been saying we are ready for a jump, for a big transformation at planetary level. But if you look at this humanity all over the world, how can you say that this humanity is ready for a jump in the revolution? It's a pure illusion. There are so many sides of this planet, there are so many sides or parts of this humanity which are so much backwards. They need to be integrated and brought up to a level that the most advanced people have reached. Otherwise there will never be a jump in the evolutionary aspect of this planet. So all what's happening in the world, it seems that it's chaotic, that we don't understand why it's happening like this and what's happening. But it's very much part of a divine plan to make humanity an integrated factor, so that all humanity may grow to a certain level. And whether we like it or not, it happens, because that's the divine plan. All these people moving from one part to the other of the world, it's good whether we like it or not, because this humanity has to become one, evolving in a certain direction. And there is no my country, your country. Yes, we like it. I mean, we belong to a country. We like to think this is my country, but that's a pure illusion. That we like, we want, but in reality it doesn't exist, because the country that belongs to us is this whole planet. So that's how we grow at a human level, humanity level, and at an individual level, by integrating all the parts of our being. And of course, in this process, there may be happenings which are painful, which are crazy, which seem to be crazy, but it's part of a process. It has to go on the way it is going on, both inside of us, with ourselves, and with the planet, with humanity. So nothing is really going crazy. Nothing is really going the wrong way. There is a supreme intelligence that governs not only my life, the life of us, the life of this country we are in now, the life of this continent, the life of this planet, or the life of this solar system, or the life of this galaxy. The life of the universe. It's all endless, it's all infinite. And the wise way of looking at things is from this point of view. When we look at things from our small, tiny, small garden, then we don't get the point. Then we become confused and we wonder why things happen the way they do. Is there a God? Where is this God? If there were a God, then these things shouldn't happen. If it is a God of love and a God of peace and beauty, and why all this cruelty happens? It has to be like this. What counts is not so much how many people die every day, but how much we evolve towards truth. To the eyes of God, life or death makes no difference, because for Him, life and death do not exist. They exist for us. When somebody dies, oh, such a tragedy. But for God, it's just nothing, because for He sees very clear that He came out from this door, He entered the other room. So there is no death. That is a problem for us, because we are so attached, identified with this life of ours, with this body of ours. But for God, life and death is just a play. It doesn't exist. So all the problems are due to our limited understanding and our limited point of view. If you could see the whole aspect of reality, then there would be no problems. And if you could see the whole spectrum of before, now and after, which we see when we leave this world, we experience when we leave this world, that there is no time, there is no before, there is no now, there is no after. There is this eternal present, if you want to call it like this, but this term is also not appropriate. It means that everything happens at the same time. So from that point of view, there is no evolution even. How do we understand how it is on the other side? If you can understand how it is, what could be, no time, no before, no now, no after, but everything here at the same time, how do we understand it? No space, means you can be everywhere at the same time. How do we understand it? It's impossible for us human beings to understand it. It's only by experiencing it that we understand it. So we should try to be light-hearted as much as possible. And whatever happens, we should never lose our head because of what happens. This is right, the other one is wrong. We are the right ones, the other one are the wrong ones. We are the good ones, they are the bad ones. It's a very limiting point of view. We are all one humanity, and until we don't reach the point of understanding this very simple fact, there won't be peace. Until we don't understand that everybody has the right to live in this world, and there should be not the powerful one and the weak one, the one who has too much and the one who has nothing. So we are growing by and by towards a life which should be equal for everybody. That means love for everybody. That you feel good if you feel good. And if you don't feel good, I also don't feel good. And I'm happy with your happiness. But most of the people are happy with the unhappiness of others. So how much do we have to grow? Where are we standing? Just this very simple factor. How much am I happy with the happiness of others? And how much I am happy with the unhappiness of others? This is a very good meter to measure where we stand. So then Sanji says, it's very beautiful bhajan. I was separated for so many births and was searching for the dearly beloved. May I meet the perfect master so that I may go across. Now I have got the husband, the emperor, who takes care of me. Oh friends, wandering from door to door, I became very crazy. I didn't get any knowledge of the heart, any knower of the heart. No one heard my plea. Oh friends, now I have got my beloved, the support of my heart, the treasure of Shabbat. I did the practice of water, performing the austerities, and bathed in the places of pilgrimage. I washed in the temples and holy places, but no one shared the pain. Oh friends, my beloved has come, and has put me on the path and makes me see him. Listen, O beloved Kirpal, make everyone have the beautiful darshan. The life of Ajayb is full of bad qualities, take him across. O friends, the true saint has come, my husband has come, and he loves me. You see? O beloved Kirpal, make everyone have the beautiful darshan. So that's what the masters want. Everyone to have the darshan of the beloved. All the masters want that the whole of humanity becomes fully integrated, fully happy. Fully happy in this world and fully happy inside. And what they do it just for this purpose, to help us grow, to help this world become a better place. So we should learn from their example and try to live such a life that is of service, of love, compassion. And try to bring as much as possible what the Christians call the kingdom of God on earth. The thing is, when the kingdom of God comes on earth, this earth is not earth anymore, but it's something else. So we thank Sanji for this very beautiful bhajan. We try to apply the teachings into our life and make it a better life for ourselves and for others. First, we have to be happy ourselves, fulfill ourselves. Otherwise, we can't help anybody to become happy and fulfilled.